And so we've had one manifesto here from Annabelle. And so, yeah, whenever you're ready, Annabelle, do you want to start your host?
Okay, thank you. So hi everybody, my name is Annabelle and my pronouns are she, her. I'm a first year music student here at Johns and it's lovely to meet all of you. I hope you're having a good evening so far. And I would be honoured if you'd consider voting for me to become your next welfare officer for peer support. The answer to that classic question, what do you love most about Johns, is 9 times out of 10 going to be the people, the other one being potatoes. And at risk of being cheesy, it's mine too. Even in the current situation, I've been able to make such wonderfully funny and sweet friends, both online and in real life, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Having been able to make such connections throughout the college community, from my own year to the old third-year dinosaurs, I understand and appreciate that our college is only as good as the people within it. And that is the reason why I'm husting for you today, for a position in which I hope to do my bit in creating a safe and welcoming space in which to support each member of our Johns family to reach their full potential. This leads me to my first aim, relate. It will have escaped none of you that the current situation has caused divisions throughout our community, deepening the chasm between years and the common rooms. So that is why I propose, in conjunction with the welfare events team, to strengthen college family relations with emphasis on the Cranmer Godparents scheme. Additionally, with college being closed off to a large majority of our community this year, livers out and those on a year abroad may feel excluded. In a bid to extend a helping hand outside of the immediate college grounds, drop-in sessions will continue both in person, but also with the option of attending on Zoom, even as we shift into normality. Support from the support team itself would also be put into place so that a listening ear is accessible to everyone, no matter who or where they may be. I wish to encourage conversation in our community, conversations about serious issues that plague our university, such as equality, diversity, and inclusivity being the topics du jour. As a member of a minority myself, I understand how the issues we can face can feel isolating and how difficult it is to voice how you feel. So led by our very own disability, LGBTQ plus and international POC and multi-faith reps, support groups will be set up with the aim to empower and to include every person in our community. One of my main focuses as welfare officer would be to structure and to make accessible welfare training for everybody, falling under my aim of communicate. With the help of external organizations such as Nightline and the DSU's active bystander training, a 2-part program would be created, of which the first part will be open to anyone who might want to participate, and the second available to those who would like to become part of the welfare team. In line with this, welfare's social media will be revamped, making an ideal place to advertise these goings on, along with weekly welfare tips and tricks. So, with a view to these 3 points, I do hope you'll consider me for the role. And whilst I have, as of yet, only met a handful of you in person, the communities that we have created and maintained online have been so warm and welcoming that I'm counting down the days until we can all meet in real life. I'd be happy now to take any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thanks, Annabelle. Any questions of clarification about the Hust or the manifesto? Any general questions? Gabriel.
Yes, so could you please tell me about the Durham University respected study policy of what would happen if I made a complaint about somebody being rude to me in a seminar?
I'm afraid I don't know about that just yet, but I will be sure to look that up and get back to you as soon as I do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gabriel. Catherine?
Yeah, so this role can be super challenging at times, and you've got to work with college really closely.
Mhm.
And we've had really severe, I would say anyway, welfare issues this year as compared to normal years. And I think this has kind of problematized the relationship with college at times, definitely, because sometimes we're the first point of call for people when really people should be getting support from college. So I guess my question is, what's your understanding of how SJCR welfare and the welfare officer especially works with the senior tutor's office, and what would you do to kind of improve relations and work closely with college to make sure that everyone's getting the best support and the most appropriate support for them?
Right. So what I know at the moment about how the welfare officer and how the welfare team interact with college is that I believe that the welfare officer has weekly meetings with Jasmine, the assistant senior tutor, to discuss issues, or more frequently if unfortunately the need arises. I suppose the best way to increase sort of communication on both sides would be either to talk more frequently, perhaps with more informal meetings, like to come into college. Let's assume that this is a normal year, or with Zoom meetings, just to pop in and just to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. And Molly next.
Yeah, so as Catherine touched upon, it's can be quite a consuming role at points. How would you look after your? Did I freeze? No, I didn't.
You're right.
How would you put in place boundaries, and how would you look after yourself during the role?
As a musician, I like calling myself one. As a music student, I like to just play a lot of music, have a bit of fun. I understand that it can get difficult, but I do have some really wonderful friends, like I mentioned in my house. I am flexing a bit that I have good friends. Hello. But I know I can rely on them to help if I'm feeling down. In terms of boundaries, I suppose that I would delineate a certain time, like certain hours that I will be available for people to contact, but there will also be times and I will make it clear as to what times I will be available and what times I won't be.
Thanks. And I think Will was next.
Yeah, Molly asked exactly the question I was going to ask, but I'll ask a different one instead. Do you have any particular things you'd like to bring, or what would be your number one thing that you'd change or would improve upon from this year, if possible?
Right. My number one thing at the moment would definitely be to structure welfare training and to make it more extensive. So not only to make it more available to everybody, like I said in my Hust, but also to make sure that, because what I know about welfare training at the moment is that it's fairly compact, I suppose you could say. And I think with more sort of development of that, we could provide better support for our college community. Yeah, so yeah, that would be my main aim.
Thanks. And Imogen, please.
Hi. So one thing that's come up a few times in the last few years is obviously livers out are still able to access college welfare. How would you make sure they still felt that they could get in touch with you, or they know what's available to them?
I'm assuming at this point that we'll be allowed to be in college, like livers out will be allowed to be in college. I will also, first of all, on social media, I will make it very clear that this is where you can contact me, like message me. That'll be the easiest point of call. Then the second one will be when we return to normality, Zoom calls will be advertised on the social medias as well as on social media and their emails, so that everybody will know that as that is an option. And it's a lot easier obviously to stay at home and do it on Zoom than come into college, but they do obviously have the option to make the journey here and to be talked to and be listened to, sorry, not talked to, listened to in real life.
Thanks, Imogen. And final question from George.
Thanks, Benji. Alligators are better than dinosaurs, discuss.
I mean, considering how proud of a Johnian I am, I have to say that alligators are better, because otherwise that would simply be unpatriotic, wouldn't it? Yeah, dinosaurs are still pretty sick though. Love a good dinosaur.
Thank you. Yeah, I realised the last question, but is Edie on to ask?
Hi. So can you hear me all right? I've had an issue with my computer all day. So in Freshers Week, I was a FREP and on welfare, and what we found out is that many freshers were having panic attacks, whether or not in welfare, like in drop-ins or just in Linton Lawn. How would you deal with a fresher coming up to you having quite a severe panic attack?
I myself have had panic attacks before, I've had friends who've also unfortunately suffered from the same thing. So I think the best thing, first of all, was to take them to a quiet place and sit them down. Again, make sure that they have water and make sure that they're provided for, and just slowly work with them, listen to them, work with their breathing, make sure they're breathing regularly. Because my own ones are quite I don't know what the word is. It's quite fast. Hyperventilate. Thank you. Hyperventilating ones. So I work on their breathing, make sure they're calm, and once they are calm, to talk to them. No matter how long that takes, I will stay with them until they're feeling good again. Basically.
Okay, thanks, Izzy, and happy birthday. Dedication coming to on your birthday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Annabelle. And yeah, I guess we will move on. So a couple of positions next. Vice Chair, we didn't have any manifestos for, but if anyone's interested, you could